We've been talking about the main categories of life, the things that touch everything: work, career, family, marriage, relationships, health, all of these things, the future-proof areas that we need to focus on. And obviously a big one is always going to be money, right? It's always going to come back to money. There's different philosophies about money. People have different approaches to things. I would not consider mine necessarily to be the best one or the standard to follow by any stretch. My focus tends to be, because I've been an entrepreneur and independent for most of my life, my focus tends to be on always creating opportunities. So for me, I see everything as potential capital, right? Capital, resource, spendable resource, not just money, but relationships and things like that. So that's why it's very important to me to cultivate relationships. It's very important to me to keep investing in these things, because it does come down oftentimes to who you know. And so somebody can open the door for you to create more opportunity. The way I figure it is that because we live in a monetary system that's based on a fiat currency, we have to think beyond currency. Fiat currency. Fiat means, it's not necessarily that it means fake. It means that the value of the currency is determined by declaration. It's fiat. So the only reason a dollar is worth a dollar is not because there's a dollar's worth of gold behind it. They stopped the gold-backed currency a long time ago. That's why you have inflation. It's a fiat currency in that it's a dollar because the U.S. Federal Reserve System says it's a dollar. That's all that it is. And so long as the rest of the world keeps believing that that's a dollar and using it as the reserve currency, we're okay. If the rest of the world suddenly says, you know what, we will no longer trade in dollars, America is screwed. We're screwed. That's not a stable system to be dependent on. So if you say, I've got this much money in the bank, CJ, I'm all set. Well, maybe. There were people who were, quote unquote, all set in the Great Depression. There's people all set in the last recession that we had in 2007, 2008. Pensions were lost. Retirements were lost. Tremendous amounts of money were lost, right? Because it's inflated. It's a fiat. It's not actually real. It's all based on, again, this fiat declaration that this is a dollar and it's worth a dollar, but there's really nothing backing it up. Therefore, my concern is I want something a little more sure than just money in the bank, because every year the dollar depreciates more. Your money at the start of this year that we're in now, at the start of the year will be worth more than this very same money at the end of the year. Now, of course, you won't necessarily notice the percentage, but it always depreciates over time. That's why things cost more. We post pictures on Facebook of, a picture of a 1973 gas station with the sign outside, and you see, 65 cents a gallon. You're like, oh, I can't believe we actually paid that back in the day. We pay 3-4 times that amount now. Remember when stamps were just a penny or a dime, and now they're, 3 times that amount. It's not that these things have become more valuable. It's that there's more paper money in the system. That's what inflation is. Inflation is not the inflating of prices. It's the inflating of the money supply, which the end result is the increase in prices. That's what inflation is. So that's something the Federal Reserve System tries to counter, it tries to control, but that's difficult to do. If you just keep printing money that doesn't have anything behind it, there's more money in the system. Therefore, the individual dollars do not carry as much spending power as they used to. Right? I remember as a kid, man, we used to have a quarter was a big deal. You might literally see a quarter on the sidewalk now and walk right by it. As a kid, I wouldn't have done that. Man, if I had $5 or somebody gave me $5 as a kid, that was a big deal. So investment to me, when it comes to money, has more to do with my skill set, has more to do with investing in me. In other words, the most important thing that I feel like I need to do is make myself valuable in the marketplace. Sure, the other things we need to learn about, whether it's, savings accounts or investments or whatever. Those are all important things. I don't want to demean them, but you need to talk to a professional about that sort of stuff. But for me, I have to keep myself marketable. So I continually invest in my ability to earn money. Because again, I was always an entrepreneur. I never really was hooked up to any major institution or corporation. I didn't do that. I wasn't working in the cubicles out there. It just, not the path I took. So I didn't have that. I didn't have matching 401ks and all of these things. I didn't have the pension program. Didn't have any of that. So I had to depend on myself. Now, I don't recommend necessarily everybody do what I do, but I think you can learn something from it, just like I can learn from those who take the other approach to it. The important thing to understand when it comes to finance is to understand that it is an unstable system. It's not based on anything real. And if that's the case, then you want to make sure you're operating in terms of things that are real. That's why I think a lot of successful investors and things tend to focus on real estate. They want to invest in real estate because real estate is real. It's tangible. It's something that can be sold. It's something that you can hold and hang on to, property, etc. I look at it the same way in terms of investing in the tools of my trade, investing in my skill set, investing in my ability to earn. I want to invest in my ability to earn. Some people, like my accountant, they're focused on the exit of a penny. I tend to be focused on the entrance of a dollar. So those who have the exit of a penny mentality, they're really, really focused on frugal spending, which is important, but maybe even to a fault. And so they're not really spending any time learning how to bring in more money. They're so concerned about whether they spent too much over here. I like to keep my focus on earning, the ability to bring in more money, the ability to bring in new opportunity, the ability to add more people, right, to my relationships, so that my network, so that I can create capital, spendable capital. People are capital. They can open doors of opportunity for you. They can be there to introduce you to your next season, to your next level. Can you dig it? I hope you can.